Liu Xun, courtesy name Boyan, was a military general and politician of the state of Eastern Wu during the Three Kingdoms period. He started his career as an official under the warlord Sun Quan in the late Eastern Han Dynasty, steadily rising through the ranks until 219, when he assisted Sun Quan's general Lu Meng in an invasion of Jing province, which led to the defeat of Liu Bai's general Guan Yu. In 222, he served as the field commander of the Wu armies in the Battle of Shouting against the forces of Liu Bei and scored a decisive victory over the enemy. Liu Xun reached the pinnacle of his career after this battle, as he was highly regarded by Sun Quan, who promoted him to even higher positions and bestowed upon him unprecedented honors. Throughout the middle and the later parts of his career, Liu Xun oversaw and managed both civil and military affairs in Wu, while participating in some battles against Wu's rival state Wei from time to time. In his final years, Liu Xun became involved in a succession struggle between Sun Quan's sons, and he fell out of Sun Quan's favor. He managed to retain his appointment as Chancellor, an office he assumed in 244 but died a year later in anger and frustration. Liu Xun's role in the Wu government was likened to that of a custos morum, as he believed firmly in and upheld Confucian ethics and values, from providing constant and timely advice to Sun Quan to exercise benevolence and consider the welfare of the people, to vehemently objecting to Sun Quan's idea of replacing his legitimate heir apparent in favor of another son. Family background: Liu Xun's original given name was Yi, and he was from a family of high social status in Wu County, Wu Commandery, which is in present-day Suzhou, Jiangsu. His grandfather Liu Yu and father Liu Jun both served as officials in the government of the Eastern Han Dynasty. He was orphaned at a young age, so he was raised by his granduncle Liu Kang, who was serving as the administrator of Liujiang Commandery. Liu Kang had disagreements with the Huainan warlord Yuan Shu, so when he heard that Yuan was planning to attack him, he immediately sent Liu Xun and his relatives back to Wu Commandery for their safety. Liu Xun became the head of the family after Liu Kang's death because he was older than Liu Ji, even though Liu Ji was one generation older than him. Early career: as a county-level official in the early 200s, when Liu Xun was 20 years old, he came to serve the warlord Sun Quan, who was nominally a subject of the Han imperial court, but had full autonomy in governing the territories in Jiangdong he inherited from his elder brother Sun Ce. Liu Xun started his career as a minor official in Sun Quan's office, then as a foreman clerk in the East and West bureaus and as agricultural commandant of Heqiang, before becoming a county-level official. When the county was plagued by consecutive years of drought, Liu Xun opened up to the granaries and distributed food supplies to the people and promoted agriculture. The people benefited from his policies. At the time, there were many households in Wu, Kuaiji, and Danyang commanderies who were hiding from the government because they wanted to evade taxes and conscription. Liu Xun had them tracked down, registered and resettled. Some able-bodied young men were recruited for military service while others were sent to do agricultural labor. Eliminating bandit forces early in his career, Liu Xun assisted in the elimination of bandit forces in the Jiangdong territories who had been terrorizing the region for years and posed serious threats to Sun Quan's administration. He rallied a volunteer army to attack the bandits led by Pan Lin in Kuaiji Commandery, passing through treacherous territory and pacifying those who stood in his way. The number of troops under his command increased to over 2,000. When another bandit chief, Yu Tu, was causing trouble in Poyang, Liu Xun led an army to attack the bandits and achieved success. He was commissioned as colonel who establishes might, and ordered to garrison at Lipu. Liu Zun once advised Sun Quan to eliminate local bandit forces in Jiangdong first because they would hinder him in his aims to achieve supremacy over China. Sun Quan heeded Liu Zun's words and appointed the latter as a commandant of the right section. Under him, Fei Zan, a bandit chief in Danyang, had received an official appointment from Cao Cao, a leading warlord who was also the de facto head of the Han government, and was instructed to instigate the Shanyu tribes in Jiangdong to stir up trouble for Sun Quan. In response, Sun Quan sent Liu Zun to attack Fei Zan. Liu Zun had a much smaller army as compared to Fei Zan, but he deceived the enemy into thinking that he had more troops. He prepared more flags and banners, spread out his war drums, ordered his men to sneak into the valleys at night and beat the drums loudly, so as to create an illusion of an overwhelming army. He emerged victorious over Fei Zan. Liu Zun sent his troops into the three commanderies in eastern Jiangdong, where he recruited many able-bodied young men for military service while the less physically fit ones were called up for agricultural labor. He drafted tens of thousands of soldiers in total. He also cleared the region of opposing forces before returning to a garrison at Wuhu. Conflict with Chen Yushi, the administrator of Kuaiji Commandery, once accused Liu Zun of oppressing and disturbing the common people. When Liu Zun traveled to Wu to explain himself, he praised Chen Yushi for being an excellent civil official. Sun Quan was puzzled, so he asked Liu Zun, "Chen Yushi made accusations against you, but yet you praise him. Why?" Liu Zun replied, "Chen Yushi was concerned about the people's welfare when he made accusations against me. If I were to rebuke him, I would violate ethical norms, which is something I will not do." Sun Quan said, "This is something that a person with good morals will do and something which ordinary people are not capable of doing." Invasion of Jing province. Planning for the invasion around 215, about 6 years after the Battle of Red Cliffs, Sun Quan and his ally Liu Bei had territorial disputes over southern Jing province, and tensions between them nearly escalated to the point of armed conflict. But eventually both sides agreed to divide the province between their respective domains along the Xiang River. Liu Bei's territories in southern Jing province were guarded by Guan Yu while Lu Meng was in charge of Sun Quan's. In 219, Lu Meng came up with a plan to help Sun Quan seize control of Liu Bei's lands in Jing province. He pretended to be ill and asked for permission to return to Qianni to seek medical treatment, while Sun Quan played along by agreeing to the request. Liu Zun went to visit Lu Meng and he said, "Guan Yu is near the border. How can we remain far behind the border and not worry about having to defend against him?" Lu Meng replied, "What you've said is true, but I'm seriously ill now." Lu Zun then said, "Guan Yu is proud of his own valor and he scorns others. He may have made great achievements, but he is overly conceited. Besides, he is heading north and he has never regarded us highly. When he hears that you're sick, he'll definitely lower his defenses. If we attack him when he lowers his guard, we can capture him. I came here to meet you and discuss a plan to attack him." Lu Meng replied, "Guan Yu is known for his bravery and ferocity in battle, and he is a formidable foe. Besides, he is in control of Jing province. He governs with virtue and has made great accomplishments, while the morale of his army is at its peak. It won't be easy to defeat him." Succeeding Lu Meng, when Lu Meng arrived in Qianni, Sun Quan asked him, "Who can replace you?" Lu Meng responded, "Liu Zun is careful and thoughtful. He has the ability to shoulder this important responsibility. Based on my observations of him, I feel that he is capable of taking up great appointments in the future. Besides, he is relatively unknown, so Guan Yu will not be wary of him. This cannot be better. If he is appointed, our enemies will be unaware of our intentions. While we can assess our forces better and seek an opportunity to launch the attack, Sun Quan followed Lu Meng's suggestion and commissioned Lu Xun, as Lieutenant General and Inspector of the Right Section, to take up Lu Meng's post in Jing Province. When Lu Xun arrived at Luku to assume his new office, he wrote to Guan Yu, "Previously, I had the privilege of witnessing you in action. You uphold good discipline in your army and achieved success with minimal effort. That is praiseworthy. Our enemy has been defeated. It is to our mutual benefit that we strengthen our alliance. Having received this piece of good news, I intend to pack up all my belongings and join you in striving to accomplish our Lord's common goals. I am unintelligent, but I have received orders to take up this appointment in the West. I hope to catch a glimpse of your glory and obtain your good advice to bear in mind later." After Guan Yu's triumph over Yu Jin at the Battle of Fancheng, he wrote to Guan again, "Now that Yu Jin and others have been captured, everyone far and near rejoices, and your feet shall live in praise for generations. Neither can Duke Wen of Jin's victory at Chengpu nor the Marquis of Wine's strategy in conquering Zhao be compared to your achievement. I heard that Zhu Huang and his forces are approaching and preparing for an offensive. Cao Cao is very cunning and his intentions are difficult to predict. I am afraid he might secretly increase the number of troops to achieve his aim. Even though the enemy is weary, they still have some fighting spirit in him. Every time after scoring a victory, there is a tendency for us to underestimate the enemy. The best military leaders in ancient times maintained their defenses even after they won battles. I hope that you can make grander plans to secure a total victory. I am but a scholar, negligent and slow, and unworthy in many aspects. I am pleased to have a majestic and virtuous neighbor like you, and my joy cannot be contained. Even though we have not worked together yet, I always hope for such an opportunity. If close attention is required, I will pay my fullest attention." Invasion of Jing Province. Upon receiving Lu Xun's letters, Guan Yu felt that Lu showed humility and was expressing his desire to rely on him, so he felt at ease and lowered his guard against Lu. When Lu Xun heard about that, he reported the situation to Sun Quan and provided crucial details on how to defeat Guan. Sun Quan secretly led an army towards Jing Province, with Lu Meng and Lu Xun serving as the vanguard commanders. Lu Meng employed infiltration tactics to disable the watchtowers set up by Guan Yu along the Yangtze River, rendering him unable to warn Guan about Sun Quan's advances, and then swiftly conquered Guan Yu's key bases in Jing Province, Gong'er and Nang Commandery. For his role in the conquest of Jing Province, Lu Xun was appointed as the administrator of Yidu, promoted to general who pacifies the border, and received the title Marquis of Wa Village. Fan Yu, the previous administrator of Yidu under Guan Yu, abandoned his post and fled, while the officials and tribal chiefs in the commandery surrendered to Lu Xun. Lu Xun had official seals carved from gold, silver or bronze and given to these officials and tribal chiefs. This took place in around January 220. Even after the annexation of Jing Province, there were still some areas which were still controlled by Liu Bai's forces or other hostile parties. So Lu Xun had to pacify those regions. He sent his subordinates Li Yi, Xie Jing, and others to lead 3,000 troops to attack Liu Bai's generals Zan Yan and Chen Feng. Li Yi led the naval forces while Xie Jing commanded the land army. They sealed the critical routes and defeated Zan Yan and captured Chen Feng. They then attacked Deng Fu and Guomyu, the administrators of Fangling and Nan district respectively, and defeated the enemy. When Bu and Deng Kai, two influential men in Zigi, rallied thousands of local tribesmen to form an army to attack Lu Xun in the west. In response, Lu Xun sent Xie Jing to attack them. When Bu and Deng Kai were defeated and they fled to Shuhan, where they became Shu officers. Liu Zun successfully induced Wenbu into defecting to Sun Quan's side. Aftermath: throughout these campaigns in Jing province, Liu Zun had killed, captured or recruited tens of thousands of enemies. In recognition of Liu Zun's efforts, Sun Quan promoted him to Right Protector of the Army, General who guards the West, and awarded him the title of Marquis of Lu. Sun Quan was very pleased with Liu Zun's achievements and wanted to give special honor to him. However, even though Liu Zun already held the rank of a general and a marquis title, he still had to pass through the standard protocol of receiving a recommendation by the chief administrating officer in his home province. Hence, Sun Quan ordered Lu Fan, the governor of Yang province, to employ Liu Zun as an attendant assistant officer and recommend him as a Mao Kai. At the time, there were many educated men in Jing province who had either obtained positions in the civil service or were unemployed. So Liu Zun wrote to Sun Quan. In the past, Emperor Gao recruited people with extraordinary abilities. Talents flocked to join Emperor Guangwu when he was reviving the Han dynasty. We should attract all Confucian-educated men into the civil service, regardless of how far away they are. Now, Jing province has just been pacified and there are still many people and things yet to be in place. I humbly urge you to employ these potential talents and groom them, so that all within the empire will be attracted by our great culture. Sun Quan accepted Liu Zun's proposal.